2-minute tips, healthy beauty, and confident aging. I want to make sure that we're online okay, because there seems to be a little technical difficulties again. So if you could give me a thumbs up or something just to make sure that we're online okay, that would be fantastic. And just so we know what's on the agenda for this morning, we're doing Make Betters with contestants numbers 7 and 8. And then I'm going to do a segment on how to camouflage body marks, like on your forearms, your hands, your ankles, your legs, or whatever. And then we're going to have our usual Q&A. So if you could give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you can comment, that you're seeing everything okay, that would be fantastic. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to move along then. All righty. First of all, I'm going to talk about camouflaging body marks. Over the years, I've used things like one of the brands I've used is Dermablend. Now, when you have either broken capillaries, varicose veins, or there is discoloration from the sun or things of that nature, there's some products that work really, really well. And I've used them when I had my bridal company to cover over tattoos, because a lot of brides had tattoos they didn't want to show on their wedding day. So these two products that I'm going to recommend to you is what I used, and it covered beautifully and it waterproofed them. The first one that I use is Dermablend. Now, it's been around for a long, long time, and you can get it in a variety of different setups. Like you can get a stick, you can get a liquid, you can get more of the cream. There's various ways they're doing it. Now, the one thing that you need to remember when you're using these products is it needs a fixing powder, like shown on this picture with the Dermablend, the white powder. It's a white powder, and what it does is it seals what you've put on. It seals the makeup and it waterproofs it, so you can go swimming, and if it's a hot humid day, it will hold up really, really well. So I really, really like the Dermablend for this. And the other product that I used a lot was Cinema Secrets. Now, Cinema Secrets is still sold. It doesn't seem to be marketed as well as some of the other products, but I really like it. Now, the trick is, and by the way, I'm going to put links in the description box below for you for both of these products that you can buy on Amazon, okay? Now, again, as most of you know, I'm not sponsored in any way. I make no money. I'm not monetized, none of this. I'm just sharing this information with you and hope that if you gain something, that you pay forward your own time, talent, or treasure to a person or need in your part of the world. So when you apply this on the skin, you want to make sure that your mark, your skin is cleansed, it's moisturized, and given the time to soak in. Then what you're going to do now with these, because they are cream products, the heat of the hand works really well to really, make the product more pliable and work better. It's best with a stipple motion, or a drop and leave, drop and leave, drop and leave, not rubbing it on and off. Okay, you don't do that. You put it on and use this kind of a motion to put it in. Okay, and you pat it in, and then when it's covered completely, then wait a couple of seconds, and then add your fixing powder. And again, the fixing powder with a powder puff, not a sponge, a powder puff. You tap it on and push it in, and it'll all be white. And then make sure you just push it in with the powder puff, and then you can wipe away gently any excess powder. You'll be set for the day. Now, it works really, really well on us older dolls who, have varicose veins or spider veins that show up around the ankles and things, which happens with everybody as they age. This is a great way to if you're wearing a capris, or those of you who have good legs for shorts or whatever, but where your legs are revealed, if you've got a lot of marks on them and it bothers you, then you've got a product here to camouflage. It works extremely well. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to see if there's any questions first about either of these products, before I move on. So let me just see. We've got, hi, Kelly Cooksey. Uh, Great, you can see and hear. Excellent. Sydney and Susan and Angie and Ingrid. Oh, lovely to see you. And Kathy and Madeline. Hi. And Jamie, Maria. Uh, I could, Kelly Cooksey, I could see and hear you on the other earlier as well. Ah, okay. Thanks for letting me know that, Kelly. I guess the lag time or something is really short. I don't know. And you know what? I'm a one-woman show. I'm writer, producer, director, star, stagehand, lighting, makeup, hair, IT, edit, market. It's all on me. Some days I just don't feel like going to work. So thank you for that, Kelly. I appreciate it. And Madeline was looking good for you. Okay, great. Rebecca and Susan and Louise and Catherine King and Madeline. Great to see. Very helpful video. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm glad then that those discussions about the two kinds of products to use for your body now that it's summer and you've got marks. And you know, on your forearms too, you know, that's, if you ever notice that we tend to have our forearms and our hands, the backs of our hands are the things that become discolored most. And why? We know it's because we're out in the sun all the time, right? And so the skin becomes discolored and we get these marks. Now it can happen on your face too. And both Dermablend and Cinema Secrets you can use for your face if you've got quite a mark, you know, if it's a sun mark or a bad discoloration, or you've got really bad rosacea or any number of things. And also if you have vitiligo or anything like that, these products are excellent for camouflaging. Now, I have to tell you, there's also Cover FX out there. I've tried it and I'm not a particular fan. I find it's too runny, although it doesn't appear, it's runny from my perspective. So it doesn't sit very well, it doesn't stay very well. But for some people, they like it. That's just my opinion, having used it and not being a fan of it. So I just thought I'd let you know that too. Alrighty, so there doesn't seem to be any questions. Oh, let's see, Louise, she has one, I believe. Is this better to use for facial marks? Oh, you just answered. Oh, okay, great, great. Yes, and as I said, I'm going to provide links in the description box below, so it'll be easy access for you to look at them on Amazon and make sure to read the reviews and that sort of thing, plus what, you know, I've brought to you here. Alrighty. So I think it's time to move on then to our next, and we're going to be looking at contestant number 7 for this week's Make Better. And our first contestant here, lovely. You know what she reminds me of is Loretta Young, or who she reminds me of is Loretta Young with those cheeks of hers. Got beautiful cheeks, deep set eyes, lovely full lips, and she's doing a nice job with her makeup, but we can tweak it in a way so that we move it up a notch. Now, if we take a look here at the after picture, what do you notice first? The eyebrows. What I've done with her right brow is I've moved it in closer to the center and brought that arch right down, so that now it's more in line with the other brow. I've also thickened the front ends of the brows and aligned them in line with the tear duct. I would also recommend to her that she stop using, it looks to me like she's using a brown, which has a red in it, which many browns do. She would be better to use a print eyeshadow by MAC mixed in, because if she still has brown hairs, then she may want to continue using brown. So a Coquette would be a better color because it's a cool taupe and can lean towards the brown side, but mixed with a print would go much better with her hair and make it make it softer too. So that's the brow thing. Now with her eyes, oh, deep set, they're beautiful. But how we can enhance them more is the standard usual approach, putting gel liner in the upper waterline. Do you see where that makes a difference? And extending it right into to the tear duct. That also adds some weight. Now, our usual treatment of eyeshadow on the outer lower lash line and extended right out brings the oomph factor back, brings that natural dramatic look back without it being over the top. And her lashes are lovely, but I would recommend that she also, with her mascara, bring it right in to close to the tear duct, wherever the lashes end there, bring the mascara right into that section. And I would recommend the L'Oreal Double Extend Tube Mascara in this case too. Now, with her foundation, what I've done is mattified it, and I've removed some of her blush because it's sitting a little bit too low. She needs to set it a little higher and have less of it. At this stage, ladies, with too much blush, it looks over the top. It's like wearing eyeliner on top of your eyes, and when it's thick, it's not the best look for this stage. So I removed that and mattified, taking away those hot spots, as they call them in the industry, where it's like white. It looks like it's blown out. And also, back to her eyes, even though she appears not to have too much makeup, I've taken the foundation powder and put it into her, covered over her lid with it in the front end, because it looks to me like she may have a cholesterol spot there or two. So covering it over with the same foundation as you apply to the rest of your face will help to camouflage it and diminish its appearance. Okay, now looking at her lips, I've kept with the same color. It's a fabulous color on her, but notice how I have extended and filled in the rest of her bottom lip at the right-hand side. And I've defined the lips a little bit more, and I've also extended it in the upper lip on the outer edges to bring it right to the edge. And then I've defined it just a little bit more on the bottom edge. Now, the last thing that I've done, of course, for those whose eyes are being trained really well, is I've lifted the circumference of her hair. And especially in this case where her part is, or it looks to be a part, I filled that in a little bit more. It just gives a better lift and an overall look to her face. Now, let's take a look at her brows. And here's her brow guidelines. And you can see what a difference I've had to do with her right brow. Now, again, what you do is remove what's outside the guidelines and fill in the bare spots inside the guidelines. Now, what I suggest in a case like this is taking it a row at a time. Fill in a row or two in this case, and remove a row on the top, and then get used to that a little bit. Then go for the next row. That way, it's easier to do. It doesn't feel like such a gargantuan task, and it allows you to get easy with it as time goes on. Okay, I'll let you study that for a second. Okay, and her before and after. Okay, so we're going to just move her up here and see if anybody has any questions with this contestant. Mandy, hi all, I just joined this terrific girls club. And hostesses, wonderful topic, wonderful info, good. Now, does anybody have any questions on what I've done with our 7th contestant? Doesn't seem to be. Okay, well, that being the case, then we're going to move on to contestant number 8. And here we have our contestant number 8. This woman has the most compelling smile. Her eyes just bring you right in, don't they? I don't know, there's just something lovely about her smile, but I think people will be drawn to her more if we just do some tweakage here. We've made her eyes a more prominent focal point. And how have we done that? we've looked at the brows and shaped and groomed them with what she has there and added more. With her eyes, again, it's the same simple procedure. Uh, you add the gel liner to the upper waterline. At this stage, ladies, it's the upper waterline that works, not on top of the lid. And of course, the usual eyeshadow along the lower edge of the lower lash line and brought out, extend it out. We want to bring the eyes out at the end. And then, of course, some good mascara. And in her case, I've treated her with the hooded eye approach, where I've added eyeshadow to the along her lash line and then blended it up and out with the hooded eye. Interesting too, isn't it, how her eyes, the pupils, pop more? Now, and I want to bring this up too. A lot of people think that if you have blue eyes, then you should wear blue liner or violet or whatever. If you have hazel eyes, you shouldn't. No, 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 no. In my books, I can tell you the years I've done this using neutral colors, it doesn't matter what eye color anybody has, using the neutral colors done this way, the true color of the eye pops. There's no need to bring anything else into it. Okay, off that soapbox. Take a look now at her foundation. Again, she has hot spots on the lower part of her cheeks and stuff. That comes from either not wearing any makeup and your moisturizer is showing, or you've used, one of these glowy, liquidy makeups that they say will give you a nice glow. Oh, pshaw. Please, not at this stage. We're better off with matte. We really, really are. Because remember, when you have shine, it draws the eye into the wrinkle or into the roll of the lip or whatever it is. Matte acts as a camouflage. Okay, now I've added some blush for her. Looks great. And again, just a very subtle little bit. And for her lips, she has thin lips. This is a wonderful example of just augmenting the lip slightly, both the upper and the lower, and done with a matte lipstick. And then add a highlight in the center, but not going to the roll. And what we've done here by augmenting, and again, mostly in the center of her lip, not at the outsides, but in the center. What we've done is help to balance the weight and the size of her lips in comparison with her eyes. Then the other thing I've done is I've lifted the hair as much as I could in this instance. I think that she has a beautiful face. She could wear her hair up beautifully, and it might be a lot easier for her. I don't know, but that would be my suggestion. Or I would get a one-length bob, cut at the chin. I think that would look really great for her, just given what I can see at the moment. Okay, so now let's take a look at her brow guidelines. Now you can see her brows are pretty good, but if you notice, the right one is just a little bit higher than the left. So we have the same as our contestant number 7, where she's going to have to take a little bit off the top of that right brow and add into the bottom of that brow. And of course, the ends and the fronts have to be filled in a little bit more. I'll let you study that for a second. Okay, now you can take a look at the before and after again. Okay, so let's see if we have any questions here from anybody. Sydney says, very pretty. Let me see, Madeline, it looks like has a question here. How do you find a good dark brown gray eyebrow pencil? I have dark brown, blackish hair. Pencils are often too reddish. First of all, I do not recommend pencils. Do not recommend them. There's a listing that I put in every week in the description box below, the products that I use. Eyeshadows are your better bet at this stage. Pencils are waxy. so they melt. But if you mix them with an eyeshadow, then they'll have longer, they'll wear longer. But the thing I like about eyeshadows is they're more precise. If you get a good flat-edged angled brush, you get more precision with drawing on your guidelines, which is what you should do first. And I've got a video on that. Let me see, which way am I pointing? I will remember to put up a video that I have on that very thing about how to use guidelines. You do your guidelines. The brush and the eyeshadow allow you much better precision. And with a pencil, it wears down and you get less and less precision as time goes on. Even if it's just been freshly sharpened, it's not, towards the end of applying it, it's going to be dull. And when you put your dual finish powder on your eyebrows first, it acts like a primer so that when you apply your eyeshadow for your brows, it stays a lot longer. So for brown in MAC, I recommend Brun and Coquette. Those are two really important colors. And if you're aging and you're moving towards gray hair, or you have gray hair, then Print is an essential. It's a medium gray, and you can and again with these shadows, you can apply them very lightly with a light hand, and you'll get just a very light look. Or you can make them quite a bit darker by just putting on a little bit more, or pressing the brush in a little bit harder. The only thing I ever use for my brows is my Print dupe, and I can make my brows dark, light, thin, thick, whatever I want with the same product and the same brush. So yes, and the other thing with tending to the reddish, you find reddish in a lot of things, but in the Coquette, it's a cool taupe, and the Brun is a true brown, no red in it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Madeline. And Shirley Hook, hi. And JGFIO, hello Sharon, I'm still working on my brows, just can't seem to get it right. Okay, well take a look at the video that I'm going to put up about doing guidelines. It's that way, right? That way. The guidelines, because guidelines are the thing. And if you are fresh to doing your brows and you have to shape them, then you best to draw on a heavy guideline. Like, I don't mean thick, but I mean a heavy. Even if you have to use a black or a white or a lip pencil, even, something that's a different color, so that you and study the guideline and make sure that it's right. And take a selfie before you fill in. Take a selfie and study the guidelines and see if there's anything that you need to adjust with them first. Okay, so I hope that helps you. And Maida, hi. And let me see. Maria Dickinson, what color lips did you use? If it's for this contestant, I would say, because this is in Photoshop, remember, so I would say I picked up something, a color similar to what she's wearing. So kind of like sort of an orangey red. Actually, what I'm wearing would be pretty close, and what I'm wearing is the Maybelline 24-Hour Superstay number 25 with number 150 over top. And I think you can use Forever Apricot or Apricot Night or something. I think it's number 20 or 240. Anyway, it's a bit of an apricot-y color. Yeah, I think it's 20. It gives a little slight bit of an orange. You could use that over top as well. But I love the 150 with the red. And and if I wanted this to look more cool, then I would use the 110 highlighter, which gives it more of a cool that goes well with berries and pinks and things of that nature. Okay? Hope that answers your question okay. Let me see. And Madeline, thank you. I have used powders. Okay, good. All righty. Is there any other questions with respect to this contestant? There doesn't seem to be. Let's see. Louise, still not sure if exactly placement of blush, circles or angles up or angled towards. Blush should be kind of, I do it in circles, and I do it, you don't want to go past your pupil, You don't want to go past there. And I like a C shape, up and around this way. At this stage, that seems to look better. Okay? And again, not too heavy. And Maya, foundation for mature normal skin. Check the rest of my check my beauty playlist, and I'll put a link up over there for you for the beauty playlist. I use, or I'll put one up. Actually, I'll put one up for the foundations. Remember that, Sharon? Foundations. I just did a recent one, and you can see it in the beauty playlist. I like the dual finish powder foundations for this stage and age. I'm wearing it now. I've been wearing this product for probably getting close to 20 years because it just wears well. It looks natural. It helps to smooth out pores and that sort of thing, whereas liquids won't. I just find it's better. And the thing is, those of us who have busy lifestyles, if you don't want to spend all day doing your makeup, you want to get it done in 5 and go, right? And maybe 6 or 7 for some, or what if you want more on. But I'll tell you, this is the fastest, easiest makeup there is in the world, and it looks good, it wears well, and it's the best, either Barelle or the MAC Studio Fix Powder Foundation. So I hope that answers your question. And S Math, when you put on your face cream in the morning, do you also put it on the skin under your eyebrows? Oh, yes. Put it everywhere. Put it everywhere. Take a look at a video I did on how to apply your powder foundation. And I show before and after picture of my skin before and whoops, afterwards. So I hope that helps. I'm going to move into our questions segment because I think that is a better place to put this. And Shirley Hook, what is the best brow pencil for gray, white eyebrows? Not pencil, Shirley. Dual finish, eyeshadow by MAC. The reason I choose MAC is not that I'm affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form, but their eyeshadows are well milled. They're highly pigmented, so you get great performance out of them. And if you buy them in the pan, they're only $7 as opposed to buying them in the little compacts they come in. And you can put the pans into a bigger palette tray where all your makeup is. If you've got gray-white brows, then using a gray eyeshadow, the print eyeshadow, will work well. I have white brows in mine too, and when I put the eyeshadow over top, it just kind of covers them over a little bit. So that's the route I would go, Shirley. Pat Thompson, thank you. I've been doing the C in the wrong place. Okay, remember, think about your bone up here, okay? This is where it goes. When we do it too far down here, you know what I mean? Like sometimes they do a C right here. That's too low at this stage. And we've all seen older women who have put like their blush on like almost in circles. Do you know what I mean? And it's too heavy and it's the wrong color. And it just doesn't look right. Better to be up here and you don't want to be able to see it. You don't want to see any lines or anything. You can see my blush, but it's not like I've got just enough color, but you can't see any lines anywhere. And in fact, today I added a little bit more. I added some orange eyeshadow to it because I just wanted a little bit more color, but again, I blended it out. And if you're having trouble blending, and if it's in this area, then if you're using highlighter in that triangle, like we've talked about many times before, then just take that same brush, no more product, but just take that same brush and then just blend it away. Blend the two together. And that should do it for you. Hope that helps, Pat. And Mary Ellen, everyone, please remember to thumbs up this video. Yes, thank you, Mary Ellen. I really appreciate a thumbs up because I am not monetized in any way. And with given the algorithms and all the stuff that they keep doing and changing and everything, it really helps me if you could give it a thumbs up and if you could share the video. It's easy to share it. That's always helpful too. Very much. If you're on Twitter or any other social media platform, it would be great if you could do that. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for bringing that up. So, well, it looks like we don't have any other questions. But given that things are a little bit slow, it seems to me, then maybe I'm going to move forward. And if we have any more questions, I'll certainly come back to them. Oh, here's one. Louise, my eyebrows are still almost black. I love my Make Better with the lighter gray, but it doesn't work with my remaining black brows. What to use? Black, dark gray. I hesitate to pluck them all out. Use the print eyeshadow. If you've got black, the print, you can put print on heavy enough that it's got like a pewter look to it. Not quite a carbon, but a pewter. Believe me, use the print and use it and blend it in with the brows. Takes a little bit of experimenting. Remember, guidelines first, Louise, and then fill in. Take a selfie and show me, okay? Show me on the page so that we can see if you're going in the right direction or not, okay? Hope that helps. And Kathleen Zazu, MAC Prism is no longer available. Could you recommend a substitute, pretty please? I typically wear slightly cool tones. Okay, just off the top of my noggin, I think there's Harmony and there's Deep Rose, something Rose, can't remember. I've got a listing of it. I did a live on blush, and I've listed the blushes in the description box below. So if you go to the live playlist and check out where it says, it's written in the description of the video, it talks about blushes, or it's on the thumbnail. You'll see it there, and everything's listed in there for you as an alternative. That's too bad about the Prism because such a great color, such a great color. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but those are two that are pretty darn good. And Madeline, how do you apply Dermablend or any body makeup cover for ankle, leg, or veins? How do you know if it's waterproof in the heat, etc.? Well, Madeline, like I said, you have to use the fixing powder over top of it to seal it. Do you know, like they say when they talk about liquid makeups or cream makeups, and they say that you have to use like a powder over top, a translucent powder. Well, the reason you do that is to seal the liquid or the cream underneath. And it's the same with the Cinema Secrets or the Dermablend. They are creams, and so they require being fixed. Okay, when you put that fixing powder on over top, it seals it. It waterproofs it. And I have to tell you, it's smart if you're going to get the Dermablend to get the Dermablend remover, because it's hard to get off. So use the Dermablend remover to get your stuff off. It believe me, it wears like iron. So, but you gotta have the fixing powder. Hope that helps. Which eyeshadow do you recommend for me? I have brownish gray hair. Well, first of all, I have no idea, because your brown grayish hair could be a wide spectrum. But what I do recommend is for everybody at this stage, these are colors that are essential. The Print by MAC, the Coquette, the Brun, and the Carbon, which is black. Now, if you're very light colored, you have white hair and your eyebrows are quite light, then Scene, which is a lighter version of the Print, which is gray, and Omega, which is a lighter version of the Coquette, which is a cool taupe. Those are essentials. You know what? You don't need anything else. You don't need anything else. That's all anybody needs. And you don't need eyeliner. You don't need all that stuff because you use these eyeshadows for your brows, for your eyeliner, for your eyeshadow. That's cheap, cheerful, and oh so spectacular when it's done. Okay, that's all anybody needs. Believe me, somebody was telling me that they went into a store. They were in another city and they went into a makeup store and they said no, it wasn't a makeup store. I'm sorry. It was like a Shoppers Drug Mart we have here in Canada. And I don't know if it would be Target in the US, but whatever. And they said that the makeup was like for aisles. She said it was just impossible. How do you shop? How do you go through all of the products? And believe me, ladies, there's so many more of them now than there used to be when I was first starting out. It's impossible to know. But if you follow the advice on this channel, you can walk into your local MAC or order online. You know exactly what to order. Make sure you have about 5 or 6 good brushes, a couple of flat, stiff, flatted angle brushes, and that sort of thing. That's all you need besides your Maybelline 24-hour Superstay, of course, and your dual finish powder. That's all anybody needs. You never have to go shopping for makeup again. Really, really. And at this age and stage, those are the colors. Believe me, they work for just about everybody. Now, if we're getting into our black skinned or caramel skinned beauties, when they're darker, well then there are other shades, and that's where the carbon will come in, and those sorts of things, and they take a little bit different approach to their stuff, and they would go with more with warm tones than with cool tones. Okay, but I hope that helps. The soapbox is just knocking on the door constantly, isn't it? Okay. Pat Thompson, love the black background and black clothes. Your beautiful face and hair just floating there. Yeah, my head is still attached to my body. But yeah, I do this purposely, and it's the same reason I wear. I just do a very natural nail polish because I want to keep the backgrounds and everything clean and simple so that the product, the face, or the demonstration is the focus. And that's what you want to think about in life too. Whatever you want to showcase, let's say, then everything else behind it and around it should be subdued. And that's why this is my personal preference. I prefer to dress in 1 or 2 colors only, and make it plain and simple, no patterns, because this is the focus. My personality that's behind it and with it, that's what I want to showcase. And besides, as the waistband is expanded, it is what it is, but I don't bring focus to it. I just camouflage it the best I can. But I'm glad you like Pat, and thank you for pointing that out. Madeline, the older I get, unfortunately, need to cover more. Madeline. On my the Going Gray Love in It page, I put up a picture of Cindy Crawford. Somebody brought her to my attention where she had said something in Vogue magazine that the older I get, the less makeup I need. And I'm saying both her and, with great respect, you are wrong. It's not more or less. It's when and how much, or where and how much. It's placement. It's the correct product, and it's the way it's done. If you're a member of the Going Gray page, you've seen the Cindy Crawford, and it didn't take much. It's just little tweakages that make a huge, huge difference. Placement and line and weight and shape. Okay, you hear that? That soapbox is just knocking like a mad fool, isn't it? Let's see. Can I use Bare Minerals fixing powder as a fixing powder? No, no, it's not. Fixing powder is white and it has a specific purpose. I like fixing powders. I've always got some around. Uh, Girly Gamer Malik, which game is better, GG or GG? I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if that's a troll, and if you're not, I apologize. But if you're not, then I need a better explanation. Sharon Math, Sharon, you have no idea how much you have helped so many of us aging ladies. Oh, well, thank you. I hope so. I hope so. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for saying so. Kathleen, so much excellent, very helpful information. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you. And Madeline, you are so right about makeup needs. You are so wise. I agree. Okay, should I, I'm starting, is my head swelling yet? Believe me, ladies, I've got close friends around me that will never let that happen. Trust me. And I won't let it happen. And Madeline, love the soapbox. I'm glad you do. I agree with the black. I think you're talking about the background, right, Alfie? I've thought about this a lot, and in designing programs for pages, I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. People who are marketing, like younger people who are marketing, who are starting businesses and stuff, they're thinking, they want to have these overlays and these things that zoom in and zoom out, and they've got all kinds of colors to try to get attention and that sort of thing. And if you notice, my channel is just gray, black, white, and red, because to me it's simple. When everything's going in one direction, and here's another thing, you stand out a lot by not going that route. But again, it's the focusing of making things really simple in application and in everything. Anyway, I wanted to point out to you, did you see that my hair is up today? Look at that. Look at that. Getting there. I can put my hands up. I can do this now. I can't get my hand. I can get this hand around to touch the front part of my ear, but I can only get to the back part of my ear on this side. So I'm moving forward, and I can start wearing my hair up now. So I'm very pleased about that, especially when it's just in time for the summer. And let's see what we have. Marcia would love to see a brow make better for Julia Roberts. I've done one. It's on the Going Gray and Loving It page. If you just put in Julia Roberts in the search bar, it should come up. And if it doesn't, then I'll put it up. Just let me know. If are you a member on the page? I'm sorry if I can't remember, because we've got about 21,000, or 20,000, I should say, and a couple of hundred on there now. So the reason I don't put them up on the public YouTube channel, because I don't want to get involved in any copyright infringements or anything like that. Facebook is our Going Gray and Loving It is a closed page, so that's a different story. Okay, let me see. Ellie Neff, black clothes as well. I love black clothes with a surprise tiny pop of color somewhere. Yeah, I hear you. And speaking to wardrobe, when you have classic lines and fabrics and designs, they last forever. They last forever. It's like men's ties, right? Thick, thin, or their lapels, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. It's like pants. Palazzo pants are in, wide, narrow, wide, narrow, wide, narrow. So, there's a classic, timeless, chic design in every kind or piece of wardrobing that, especially as we age, if it suits our body type and frame, why would you change it? There's so many other things to do in life besides, humana, should I wear this? Should I wear that? And I have to say, I get enraged is the word when I hear about or see bedrooms turned into closets for dames. To me, that is just, well. And in a recent video with Celine Dion and James Corden, he does the driving around, and he made some comment about her shoes, that she has a warehouse for shoes. She has about 10,000 pairs, and she has them all listed on a program that's been designed so she can retrieve them and know where they are. That viewpoint of more, 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 greed, grab, have, I find is deplorable when so many have so little. I don't think it's anything to be revered. This is, oh, you hear that soapbox knocking? You know what? You know what? It is knocking so bad. Oh, never mind. Oh, there it is. Okay, so when and it's the same with the beauty industry. It's the same with the media industries. The more they can get us to feel we aren't good enough. Now, already it's difficult when you're over 45. You start moving into that area. Oy vey, so many things are changing. The more we can feel not good enough, then the more we have a propensity to buy stuff from snake oil salespeople. That if you buy this lotion, potion, or whatever, your world will change. Your white knight will ride in on its horse. All that sort of thing. The world will become wonderful again. You know the drill, and it's BS. I get incensed when I see it, because I don't know about you gals, but I've got a lot more going on in my life besides spending an hour doing my makeup and another half hour going through my wardrobe trying to decide what to wear or what I can put with what, and then go spend 4 or 5 hours shopping to get more stuff that I don't need to stuff in a closet. There's so many more important things in this world, and without getting into a political thing about it right now, we need to be putting our energies into things to help us all. And we don't need that much. It's vile, in my opinion. Um, and with makeup, hair, wardrobe, simple, easy, streamlined, and that's what I've done on this channel, is to make it as simple and as easy as possible. So you can do your makeup in 5 or so minutes. You can get your hair done in 5 minutes. You can get dressed in about 3 minutes if you know what you're doing and you've got things well planned, and you'll always look good from beginning to end of the day with just 1 or 2 touch-ups. That's all you need. And then your energies, the strength you have, and especially as an older woman, as a matriarch, as a woman who has lived through and experienced many things that can bring good things to the world, you could be doing other things that are far more important than sitting there spinning, your dress thing and which one will I wear today. You know what I mean? I can't stand it. I really can't stand it, especially given the way our world is. Okay, okay, that feels better now. Um, Mandy, oh, I agree, Sharon. People that greedy are deplorable. Yeah, and I don't pay them any attention. Here's something, ladies. I'm trying to spread the word. Maybe you can help me. We should refuse to buy any magazines, any women's magazines. Refuse them, all of them, because they're filled with junk propaganda anyway. All of them. Only buy what you need makeup wise that's recommended for you on the channel here, and don't spend your money. And if you could spread the word to have other women, don't. Can you imagine this? Just think about this for a second. One day worldwide, if every woman didn't buy any makeup, any hair stuff, didn't go to a spa or salon, and didn't buy any magazines, we could we could put a huge dent in the economy in the beauty industry. One day. Think about that and spread the word. Now, the other thing is, while the soapbox is out, stop doing free volunteerism, because the world relies on women doing volunteerism. Unless it's essential volunteerism, stop until things change. Talk it up with the gals in your part of the world, just stop. Because we keep the economy going with our free, services. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Madeline, I need to go on a job interview soon. How can I look competitive with the young women who wear high heels and dresses? I have black dress pants and a soft black sweater set to wear. Okay, you don't have to compete with stilettos. What you want to do is black pants is great. Wear a shoe. You can wear a flat shoe or maybe just an inch heel or 2 inches at the most, but no more than that. Make sure that your shoes are clean and shined. That's the important thing. People put a lot of importance on design. No, it's how clean your shoes are. And if your pants are fitting you well, that's great. Sweater set, I'm not a big fan of sweaters that cling to the body for our age group for lots of reasons. I would think maybe a blouse that is opened, perhaps. Maybe like this blouse is like a chiffon. If you had your main part of your sweater set underneath and a black open leave the shirt open over top, that would give you a long, congruent, solid look. And then make sure that your hair and makeup is good, appropriate for the business culture you're applying to. Your nails are good. All that sort of thing is important. And when you are in the interview, you look at them, you look straight at them, you paraphrase back to them what they say to you. Do you know what I mean? And practice. Videotape on your camera. Present yourself. Hi, I'm bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Write an elevator speech for yourself. Write a mark, like an elevator speech is something that's about 10 to 15 seconds long, saying who you are, what you do, what you're selling, what you've got to offer, that sort of thing. And then videotape yourself and look at it. And if you want some tips and tricks on voice and presentation, check out my playlists on the voice of your choice. And the other one is on presentation. Can't even remember the name of it, but there's all kinds of tips there to help you out. So I hope that helps, Madeline. Louise, in my humble opinion, all that stuff, shoes, whatever, is a sad attempt to fill an empty heart. That could very well be. And Catherine King, I wholeheartedly agree. I could put my entire wardrobe into one suitcase. Mom always said, you can only wear one pair of shoes at a time. Your comment has made my day. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Catherine. Yeah, I mean, I have said to friends, on the political front, how many cars can you drive? How many houses can you live in? You know what I mean? Thanks for that chuckle, Catherine. I appreciate it. Madeline, I agree with you. Overconsumption is non-productive. Yes, exactly. Linda Lucas, too much has always cluttered my mind and stressed me out. I always, since I was young girl, made it simple. I was a young girl, made it simple. Since you were a young girl. Yes, absolutely, Linda. Simplicity with the way you present yourself and in your closet and in your makeup, that carries over to your desk, to your kitchen, to your library, to your CDs for those that still have them, to all those sorts of things. Clean, simple, easy. It's much easier to clean with less stuff. I'm a big fan of the tiny house movement. Big Living in a Tiny House is a wonderful YouTube channel I would highly recommend. Bryce just does an amazing job about this. What I love about watching that channel is it is how everybody says how much richer they find their lives with so much less. And it's so, so, so true. Anyway, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it for those that think this way. Jerry, yes, less is more. How many eyeshadows, lipsticks, and stuff do we need? It just complicates life. Exactly, Jerry. I recommend four eyeshadows. That's it. I mean, think of the amount of makeup we tend to buy. We try it once or twice, maybe 3 times, and it goes in a drawer or it goes in a bag and it gathers more and more and more. And think of the money that has been spent, excuse me, over the years, that money could have gone to something else, something else that would be more fun or maybe helped somebody else instead. And Linda Gaber, I totally agree. Less is more. Thank you, Linda. Yes, we all seem to be in agreement. Jade O, I've stopped buying women's magazines a long time ago. Yeah, me too. Good for you. I've also stopped free volunteer work a long time ago. Yeah, me too. You're right about all this. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that thinks so. Good for you, Jade. I am happy to volunteer. I'm happy to give of myself. I'm happy to share it, but I'm not happy to be taken advantage of. And I won't let it happen. So I move on and help some other place. You can volunteer other places, where it's appreciated. And Madeline, great advice. Sales job. Okay. Sales job. Well, quickly, clean background. Black is a great color for a background, so that your product is the focus. Your product and your facial expression and what you say is linked to the product. Good for you. I'm wishing you luck with that endeavor. What shade are the 4 eyeshadows you wear? Print by MAC, Coquette, which is a cool taupe, Brun, which is a true brown, and Carbon, which is a true black. Okay? I hope that does it. And again, I always leave them in the what do you call it? The description box below. Okay, well, we don't seem to have any other questions, so let's. I just want to summarize that in the process with these make betters that we do, the things that are important to consider always is having an even skin tone. That's number one, ladies, and especially around the inside corners of the eyes. That is number one. When we don't pay attention to that, it detracts, okay? Corrected brow shape. Strengthened lash line in the appropriate ways. And by the way, just in case you're interested, I'm wearing my Kiss number 02 eyelashes today. It's the first time I've worn lashes in about 5 months since I had my accident. But I just thought, and you know what? I love my false lashes. I really do. The mascara, for a mascara, I really do like the L'Oreal Double Extend Tube Mascara, but false lashes for me is still faster and gives me more oomph. Corrected and defined and more vibrant lips. They have to be corrected. I said to somebody on the page yesterday that my lips are working really hard to disappear. They're getting thinner. I'm noticing, and you know what I do now? Because I haven't been wearing it as much, but I'm getting back into it. I put my lipstick on in the mirror, and then I take a selfie. Or I look into my video camera and I can see where I'm off track. Even though it looks right in the mirror, so then I adjust accordingly. There's usually one side that I have to make a little bit, longer or better so that it balances out, because I've got some major correction to do with my lips. So using a selfie is really helpful for that. And of course, the lifted circumference of the crown of your head is essential for a beautiful, well-balanced look. Okay, that's just really important. And of course, what is it? Patience, practice, persistence. Believe me, ladies, if you put the time into doing it every day, experimenting, taking selfies, practicing, you will realize your goal and you'll get a look that you'll feel just fabulous about. And it's not a totally new look, but it's like a refresher, okay? It's an upgrade, it's an oil change, it's a, it's a whatever. It just brings back the oomph in who we are. Alrighty. Now, I just want to remind you gals that if you haven't subscribed to the channel, to please do so. And if you want to follow me on my advocacy channel where more of my soapbox stuff goes up, you can follow me at Sharon Danley Advocacy. Please like, thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Now, on Facebook, you can follow me on my public page at Sharon Danley Beauty, or on Going Gray and Loving It for those. This is a closed group where we have all kinds of conversations about all kinds of things related to women, beauty, and aging. Okay, and for Make Betters, of course, either place you can you can go to either one of those places and post your picture. Now, if you want a Make Better, the instructions are in the description box below, and you can post your photo on either one of my Facebook pages, and I will take it from there for you. And just generally speaking, wear your normal makeup, keep your hair off your brows, smile slightly, look into the camera, not face, and not the lens of the camera, but or not your face on the camera, but looking at the lens of the camera so that I have the right, and your chin parallel with the floor. Because if you're like this, or you're like this, or like this, I can't do anything with it, okay? And facing a window avoids any kind of shadows. And when you're looking for something on the page, if you go to the search bar, like if you're looking for mascara or you're looking for, foundations, just type it in the search bar and all the related videos to that will show up. Now, that's one way you can do it, or you can go to the playlists where everything is similarly gathered, and you can, do a binge watch if you want on any particular aspect. And a performance precision, act your way out of that wet paper bag is the thing that I wanted to recommend to you besides vocal power for Madeline for your presentation, for your job. Now, this week's quote is something to ponder. It's a fine line when we look to others for examples in what not to do in the pursuit of our own self-improvement and unwittingly laughing at them or pointing the finger or making fun of them. Okay, so that looks to be it. Let me see if there's any other questions before we leave. Madeline says, glad you're feeling better after your accident. Thank you, Madeline. Yes, I am definitely getting there. And Ellie, after cancer, I have very few lashes and eyebrows left. I hear you, Ellie. And this is where false lashes comes in really handy, and if you have no eyebrows at all, we can draw them on. Just take a look at the videos. The 4 Cornerstones of Great Makeup is the first place to start, and you just have to put it into the search bar and it'll be there for you. And Jerry, thank you so much for inspiration. You're most welcome. And Madeline, excellent video. Well, I'm glad you liked. That's excellent. Remember, ladies, to please take good care of yourselves, huh? And as we get older, it's best to aim for classic, corrected colors and lines and balance, no matter what our lifestyles are. Okay, and I guess that's about all I think I have to say, except that thank you for joining me today. It was a pleasure spending some time with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you the next time. In the meantime, please take good care of yourself, your loved ones, and the world around you. We will see you next time. Mwah.